I'm Micah Halpern, sitting in for Teisha Bader, here with the JBS News Update for Friday, May 25th, 2018. Fresh on the heels of the royal wedding, the British have officially announced, including on Twitter, that Prince William will make a historic trip to Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinian territories. On Thursday, Kensington Palace laid out the plans for the visit, which will take place next month. The Duke of Cambridge, the second in line to the throne, will visit Amman and Jerash in Jordan, Jerusalem and Tel Aviv in Israel, and Ramallah in the Palestinian Authority, between June 24th and June 28th, according to the statement released by the palace. This will be the first official royal visit to Israel and to what the British government calls the, quote, occupied Palestinian territories, unquote. In 1948, England withdrew after 25 years of colonial control, known as the British Mandate. That officially ended on the eve of Israel's independence. While it is true that Prince William's father, Charles, and his grandfather, Philip, have visited Israel, they came on private visits. Philip's mother is buried in Jerusalem. Azerbaijan leadership just concluded a 3-day trip to Israel. This trip was groundbreaking for a number of reasons. First is that Azerbaijan is a Muslim nation that does not have diplomatic relations with Israel. Second is that Azerbaijan borders not only Iran, but also Turkey and Russia. Third is that Azerbaijan is one of Israel's largest suppliers of oil. And finally, Israel sells all kinds of sophisticated weapons to Azerbaijan. The Azerbaijani delegation to Israel was led by the Minister of Taxation, and he was joined by several deputy ministers. A few weeks earlier, Azerbaijan's most famous singer released a music video, which included footage of the Azeri armed forces. Included were several shots of Israeli weapons. This visit has the potential to open up a big new opportunity between Israel and Azerbaijan. Yesterday, Czech Foreign Affairs Minister Martin Stropnický posted a public statement on his ministry's website. The statement read that Hamas alone was responsible for the deaths of Palestinians during the Gaza Strip border riots. The statement was entitled Gaza, Telling Things as They Really Are. Stropnický wrote that, quote, no country would reconcile itself to such provocations, unquote. The minister stated that there was no causal relationship between the transfer of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem and the violence near the border. In his words, the relocation of the U.S. Embassy was thus only used by the terrorist organization Hamas to exacerbate even further the events it had organized long before. He continued with, the fact that Hamas, which is also recognized by the European Union as a terrorist organization and which still does not recognize Israel, is the only true ruler of the Gaza Strip, and as such is fully responsible for the form and objectives of the violent actions that have occurred on the border between Israel and Gaza in recent weeks. Attempts to break through the fence and infiltrate Israel could thus be construed as terrorism. Hamas even admitted that most of those killed were members of the group. Czech Republic has been very positive about the United States' move to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and they vow to move their own embassy soon. Oil prices, which had been increasing these past few weeks, now seem to be dropping. Oil prices plunged today, probably as a result of the reports that OPEC and Russia are considering lifting production by as much as 1 million barrels a day in order to meet the shortfall of supply from Iran and Venezuela. Today, oil fell by 2.57% a barrel, which means that it's $69.38. That means a 2.7% weekly slide. The remaining members of the P5+1 are meeting in Vienna today for talks with Iran about continuing the nuke deal now that the United States has pulled out. In advance of the meeting, Iran's leader, the Grand Ayatollah Khamenei, listed 5 demands for the deal to continue now that the U.S. has withdrawn. They are, 1, Europeans must bring resolution to the United Nations Security Council protesting U.S. violation of the UN resolution. 2, Iran's missiles and regional presence absolutely may not be discussed with European leaders. 3, Europeans clearly oppose American sanctions against Iran. 4, if the Americans try to interfere with Iran's oil sales, the Europeans must guarantee the purchase of oil from Iran. And 5, Europe must guarantee Iranian banking connections. The last two Iranian demands are the hardest to fulfill. If those demands are agreed to, it means that Europe will float Iran's oil production to keep it flowing and that they will not adhere to U.S. banking sanctions. Khamenei said Iran could start ramping up its nuclear activity, which it agreed to limit in 2015 in exchange for sanctions relief, if the accord, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, no longer benefits his country. I'm Mike Halpern, and this is today's news update from JBS.